Welcome to the Matt Laricy Project. This is a show about all things real estate, business, marketing, and entrepreneurship. Each show consists of myself, Matt Laricy, a member of my team, and a guest. We're at episode 1, season 1, talking about It's a Visual World. This week, the Matt Laricy Group team member joining us is Matt Piegza.
Hello.
And our guest is Julian Tillotson with INDIRAP. Julian is the driving force behind the INDIRAP brand with over a decade of creative development, production, editorial, and entrepreneurship experience. Julian set out to redefine the meaning of corporate video in 2010. With a thorough understanding of brand identities, sales process, digital marketing strategies, and camera technologies, he prides himself on presenting the brand of the world in its best absolute light possible. Julian has collaborated with a wide range of brands. Today, he continues to push the content envelope for the INDIRAP portfolio of clients. Welcome to the show, Julian.
Great intro.
Yeah.
Great intro.
It's pretty good, right?
That's good.
I like it.
I think the hardest thing was getting his name right.
I was.
Practiced that
I was afraid of you butchering the Tillotson or Tillotson or whatever else you can come up with.
It does look like Tillotson. So, Julian, thanks for being here. Obviously, you have a company called INDIRAP Productions, and we were talking about why video matters and how this is such a visual world nowadays. We've been working together, I think, since, maybe 2013,
3 years.
14?
3 long, hard years.
Yeah, it's been pretty long process. Why do you think video matters so much right now in today's day and age?
I mean, video. It's not even a question. If you're not playing the video game, you're not in the game. You know what I mean? At this point, if you're not doing it, you're just not in the game. You're not serious about your business.
Like social media and stuff. If you don't pop up on anybody's thing,
Yeah,
they
it's
don't know
like
your
I
face.
always
There's
tell
nobody.
people it's like in the early 2000s, late 90s. If you didn't have a website, you weren't really in business. So now video is the same thing. It's like if you're not playing the video game, if you're not putting out constant content, you're not serious about your business.
Yeah.
You're being lost in the shuffle, or you're just getting swept under the rug because somebody else who's putting out that content is going to pop up first. They're getting more attention, they're getting more business, and that's just the way of the world.
I think people are just more attracted to video as it is too when you're scrolling through your social feeds and with YouTube kind of taking over the TV nowadays. So what kind of made you get into video in the first place?
I started screwing around with video cameras when I was 13. I saved up for about 2 years my allowance, and I bought a camcorder, a Sony 8mm Handycam out of Crutchfield magazine. And
That's high-end technology for today, right?
high-end technology. And I bought it to just film me and my buddies out screwing around doing stuff. That was when I was 13. Then 15, 16 came around. I got heavily involved in skate culture, graffiti, DJ, a lot of stuff like that, raves, and I just documented everything that I did. You know what I mean? And I captured everything. I went to film school, dropped out because I was a nut, and the A and B, one of my teachers told me that what I was doing at the time wasn't relevant. At the time it was either go to TV or go to Hollywood, and I really wasn't interested in either or.
Right.
So that's how I got into film.
Was this around the same time as all those skate videos? Like you got like all those things on MTV, stuff
Yeah,
like that?
all of that.
Like,
Late '90s. The X Games
Right.
and all that. All that stuff was popping heavy.
And Bam Margera, whatever was really popular at that time.
All of that
All
stuff
those
was
guys.
crazy, and I was just out having fun, documenting everything, and I just like shooting stuff and being able to watch it back and see stuff and capture things, and I thought that was cool. I didn't think of it. I didn't know anything about business or sales or real estate at the time. It was just like
Right.
I was having fun.
Were you editing any of that at that time, or were you just kind of like watching it and it's just like
A little
dry
bit of
video?
both. At that time it was like VCR to VCR, stop, record,
Right,
stop,
right.
record, pause, record kind of thing back in the day with like a little shitty editor
Right.
type of thing right there. But like I said, it was just fun, and I captured a lot of cool stuff.
Did anybody you used to work with that wanted you to go to TV or Hollywood have any idea that like the YouTubes and Vimeos and all that stuff would be such a driving force of like where we're at today?
No, that was nowhere on the radar. I was in college in like 03, 02 was the last year before I dropped out, and nobody had a clue. When YouTube dropped, it was like, damn, it was like this is. I knew what it was gonna be.
Well, 02 and 03 was still kind of more of a flip phone
Flip phone, Napster.
I don't know if you had video on a phone at that point yet.
I used to have to.
Crap.
I used to get texts on my Nextel, and I'd have to look up the number to see who was texting me.
Right.
Yeah, it was a whole nother world, man. I mean, yeah, it was a whole nother world back then.
So one of the things that we're always kind of focused on is like trying to push the envelope on technology, and with us being so involved with real estate, I feel like a lot of people in just businesses in general always kind of coming after real estate. I mean, there's not a VC I don't know that's not trying to kind of like corrupt the real estate broker program system by like trying to get rid of brokers and saying that, you know, technology is going to take over. So like, why do you think real estate is always seen as being so behind on technology?
Well, for the longest, real estate along with manufacturing are the two old boy sports. They're just always late to the party. Manufacturing's even later than real estate. It's one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Got it.
Kind of thing. You know what I mean? I remember when I first started, this company in 2010, picking up CS Magazine and calling all the top brokers and telling them, hey, let's do some content. Content wasn't even a word. It's like, let me do a video. Let me shoot your listing or whatever I was pitching back then. And they were like, go F yourself. Like, for what? I got pictures. I got the thing that just spins real slow 360 around in a unit, that thing?
The old VHT, like carousel type ad.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and those people right now are some of my biggest clients.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're just late to the party. Real estate people are always late to the party. Not as much now as it used to be. People are starting to catch on because of TV and YouTube. It's more out there, but it's just the way it's always been.
I think now with all the TV shows and HGTV taking off so well, and then, obviously people want to emulate the people on Bravo, and, I think back in the day, real estate was kind of seen more as used car salesman.
Right. Nobody wanted to be an agent.
Right. And now when they see these glamorous guys making a bunch of money and they're good looking, people are thinking, wow, real estate's sexy again.
$1 million.
And I think probably something has to do with it is that the average realtor is like around like 54, 55 years old.
Right.
And they're naturally always going to be behind. And
the game's changed.
Right. And I think maybe working in a big city, do you see a difference of working in a big city where there's a lot of, something like downtown Chicago where we're at, there's a lot of younger brokers that are, 22 to 35. Do you see a difference here than when you take your business to like Idaho or Montana or something like that and working in the suburbs?
Yeah, I mean, when you get to those territories, we call all over the country, and, there's people that still have the people that have a photo of them from the 80s standing next to a horse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So,
and you show up and you're like, wait a second, I thought I was supposed to be meeting this person.
Yeah, so, it's a whole nother ball game when you get out there.
Do you think those type of people, like when you do content for them or whatever, that like they don't really expect or understand what they're getting, and then they might be the more difficult people to work with along the way? Like, oh, I didn't really understand what this was. This isn't how I visualized it. Like, is that kind of the thing too, where everybody, I feel like you said, 22 to 35, you got to know how to use a phone and Instagram and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of know what to expect.
We definitely work with some of those agents where we'll shoot content or we'll do something and we'll get a call after we Dropbox a video. Oh, how do I download this? How do I upload this to Facebook?
They're like, what is a Dropbox?
Yeah, it's a whole nother world to them, man. Yeah. And we're there to hold their hand and help them through it. But it's definitely still a learning curve. And video to them has a whole nother understanding than to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just not the same.
We almost like expect it like a certain way because we see it every day.
Well, yeah,
like
we were there when it started.
Yeah, exactly.
We
it's
saw the analog to digital situation,
Right.
so we get it. But there's definitely a lag when it comes to older brokers. It's just some of them
or
are
any
sharp.
Industry, right? I mean,
in any industry,
anybody you deal with. It's not just brokers. It's like my mom can't open a video that I send her, and I'm like, this is awesome. Check it out. She's like, it's a photo to me. I don't know.
And it's starting to change. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of brands that we work with that we've been chasing for 3 years, pitching them, and they're starting to come around because they're starting to see like, okay,
they're behind now.
This is an investment in my brand. It's just it's the whole. Oh, I just need a video. Well, what does that really mean? I need a video.
Right.
Well, what kind of video? Who's your audience for this? What are you trying to accomplish with this? How are you going to distribute it? There's a whole universe around creating content. How are you going to recycle it and use it again?
Right. So I mean, and I'm a big component, and I believe you are as well. Is that I think content is king. I don't believe that you can produce too much content because the way Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all these other sites work is that there's all these filters and things like that. And if you put it up enough out there, more people will see it. What is your stance on having a lot of content?
This is a marathon. The biggest mistake that I see a lot of people they make is that they think they're going to do this one video and it's going to be this magic bullet,
Right.
and that's just not the way it works.
Right.
You have to you have to warm your audience up to you creating content.
Right.
So you're going to fail. You know what I mean? Just like starting a business, you're going to have to screw up and fail and figure it out and tweak it. Like, you're going to have to tweak the way you look on camera, the way you sound, what you're pitching, how you're
Right.
selling, your voice intonations. It's all these things that you learn by creating content. The first time you do video, you know, even with a professional company like us, like at INDIRAP.
INDIRAP plug. Yep.
Yeah. You're going to see it and you're going to be like, damn, I could have did this better. I could have did that. And then
Right.
you're going to make it better and better and better. I'm sure if you look at content we created 3 years ago versus now, you're super
He's
comfortable
got
on
no
camera.
tie on. He's
Yeah.
wearing jeans.
Right.
He looks
But I mean, but you know what I mean? I look at the first video I produced, and it was me in my second bedroom when I first got my first condo, doing it off of my first Apple computer. You know, but it's kind of like you said. I believe in failing forward.
Right,
And,
you have
know, You have to keep producing content over and over and over and over again until like you finally figure it out. And the
Yeah.
other thing is most people aren't going to see the first one you produce or the second one or the
No.
10th one. It's after the 100th one, and that's why things go viral. It's like people think, well, this went viral. It's the first one they shot. Well, they may have shot like 1,000 of
Right.
those things, and one person finally discovered it.
Yeah,
You know?
and from a business perspective, you're gonna create video, you're gonna create content, but there's way different types of content. There's your brand content, you know. There's your content that's gonna be 15 seconds. There's your HR recruitment content for hiring people. There's your stuff that you're gonna use to bring in leads and convert leads. Sales content. There's so much types of content. It's just not a video.
So you feel that there's still like a lot of untapped market for people to get into video with? Like, do you think we're just kind of like in the beginning phases of like where this is going to head to?
Definitely, because even people that we work with just don't understand how powerful this stuff is.
Well, why do you think that video is not working not only with like real estate agents, but just businesses in general? Like, what are people doing wrong and why is it not working? Do you think it's just they're just trying it once and stopping, or do you think they're not producing the right videos? What do you think it is?
Yeah, it's one or two things. It's one that it's like I said, they're not doing it on an ongoing basis. You have to continue to do it to get better at it. You know what I mean? It's like it's marketing or advertising. If you see an ad on for a pair of Nikes or whatever, the average is, what do they say? You got to see it 3 times before you buy. You're
Yeah.
scrolling through Instagram, you see it the first time, like, oh, those are cool. Nah. The second time, it's like, eh. Third time, it's like, all right, shit, I'm gonna buy them.
Right.
So that's one. The second thing is that people see other people doing video content and they try and emulate them versus like being genuine and transparent. Transparency is king. You know what I mean? Especially this day and age with all the people seeing so much content. I can smell BS. You can smell BS a mile away. Like, this person's a liar.
So you're
I
talking
don't
about
believe
being
him.
a little bit more like honest with true to your
You
brand.
gotta be you. You
Yeah.
gotta open up. You gotta break down that wall. You gotta get away from that, oh, I'm a professional and I need to act like this and that's Nobody wants to do business. They want to do business with somebody that's genuine, that's really, you know, open and being themselves. Like,
Yeah, I think
any
social
brand.
media is going for like more of the likes instead of being, you know, putting yourself out there and showing people who you are, and maybe that people aren't getting that authentic feel on video. and they're
Authentic
trying to
is
steal
key.
Too much.
Authentic
Nobody
is.
posts their fails, right? It's all like,
That's what I'm
this
saying,
is the best
like-
bottle of service in the world. This is the best condo in the world. This is-
And that's what
It's
holds
all
people back
just-
from shooting content, is that they think that it needs to be this perfect thing. They put so much thought into this first video, and then it doesn't do what they want, and then they're butthurt because it didn't perform the way they did, versus just failing forward and creating content.
Right.
It
I
is
mean,
what it
I think
is.
sometimes showing a loss is good, though. I mean, after a while, if somebody sees too much wins, you almost kind of start hating that person. It's like Tom Brady. Like,
Right.
I hate Tom Brady. I don't know why, but he's always winning, right? So
Always winning.
I think maybe, you know, it's kind of like if you're going out to a dinner and you see nothing but 5-star reviews, you know, and you see one bad review, you're kind of like, okay, this place is kind of normal.
Right.
And maybe on video, it's showing people that, you know what, like, not every video is going to work. And we've tried video that didn't work sometimes, and I wouldn't say that I regret doing it. It made me get another idea to do something different with that video. You know, so sometimes
Yeah.
producing a video that doesn't work, it gives you an idea to produce something even better for the long term.
Well, people, brokers, companies, I mean, you have to start looking at video as not video over here. You have to look at video as a part of your overall marketing and advertising. It's marketing and advertising.
Yeah.
If you create a print ad or a mailer or whatever people do that doesn't work, what do you do?
Do people still do print?
Some people do.
Okay,
print.
I didn't know.
I'm a huge Tom Brady fan, by the way.
Okay,
Okay.
Even though he's a winner.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But if you shoot out, if you print something and it doesn't work, what do? You tweak it and you do it again,
Yeah.
and then you tweak it and do it again. And people have been doing this stuff for 100 years and nobody ever stopped.
Right.
Right. So why would you create one piece of content and stop? It's the same situation, but better. because with a print ad, what do? You pay for an ad in a magazine to run for a month for $4,000, and that's it.
Well, the other thing with the magazines is you have no idea how many people watch it or look at it, let's say, because you
measure
can't watch it. There's no measurement. So
You can't track it at all.
Right.
You can't track, you can't reuse it, you can't recycle it, you
Right.
can't post it to 100 different magazines.
Right.
The ROI for video content is 1,000 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you create one video, post in your email signature, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, all your employees' email signatures. I mean,
You can track how many people look at it, what
It's
the age group
amazing.
is, you
Yeah.
know, how many views you have on every single platform.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go to, you know, a magazine or a mailer or a postcard, one of these types of things, you have no idea if people just take it and throw it in the garbage.
there's
That's
no content. There's no question that video outperforms all these things. It's not even a thing anymore. So when I hear people saying, "Well, I just use print or I just do TV," I'm like, "You're just crazy."
So with
Right.
big businesses kind of being behind on video, I'm a big proponent of thinking that, you know, like, you know, the Coca-Colas and McDonald's and these big brands that kind of like really kind of rule the world haven't really tapped into the whole social media small marketing. What do you think that's going to have? Do you think that'll have like an effect on little businesses when they come in? Do you think it's going to make it more expensive and unaffordable for them to get in, or do you think what type of impact will that have?
I mean, those guys are already playing the game. I mean, McDonald's. I mean, they're already doing things. They're doing VR installs and things like that. But they're always going to have a place. They've been around for almost 100 years. They're not
Right.
going anywhere, and they haven't stopped you from doing business or anyone else.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for me personally, when I eat what I cook. I use video content to grow our business. I don't just shoot it. I don't just edit it. I sell it. I market it. I use it. It's like I believe in it that much. So moving forward, any brand that's not doing that, you're going to fall behind.
Yeah, I don't
You
know about
know?
you, but like I'm the type of person that when I'm on, you know, social media or even on YouTube or something like that and I see a really cool video, I automatically assume that one, that company or person is very good at what they do, and two, think they're super successful. And they may be the worst in the world, but I mean, I always compare this to the Kardashians, right? I mean, the Kardashians had the best look. They had a show that like people were attracted to, and look
Right.
how successful they are now. I mean, it's crazy to think that one good video done right, if you produce it enough and then work on that idea and go over and over again, the general public is automatically assume that you're really good at what you do anyways.
Well, that's another thing that I'm glad you brought that up. It's like video. If you're trying to establish yourself as an expert in something, video is the best way to do it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you're selling real estate, you know, people want to know who are you, what do you sound like, what do you look like, what areas do you specialize in, who's worked with you. A video in 60 seconds can answer all those questions.
Well, it's a visual world, like we were saying earlier, and it's I believe that like, you know, what you see is kind of like how you feel and what you relate to success and failures from. And the more videos you see, I think I should say the more videos that you produce, the more people will see you, and they'll automatically assume that you're doing the thing right. And you are the expert.
Right, even if you're not. I mean, even if you just have $100,000 to throw around and do videos for 5 years, people are still going to think you're the best broker out there. You could have no
Yeah,
deals
I
pending.
mean, yeah.
I mean, you could have nothing, but you keep showing up on my Instagram. You know,
Exactly.
so-
And I'm sure you've seen, you know, I see brokers that I know are clowns.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But they're popping up every day. Every day I see them, they're marketing, they're advertising. And guess what? Somebody's calling them.
and they're getting business.
I don't care if you've been in the game 20 years and I've sold X amount of da. You know what?
Right.
You're not popping up when people are looking for a broker. This guy is, or
Right.
this girl is, and that's who's getting the business.
And at a certain point, those people are going to fall behind. So like,
Yeah.
like when, you know, let's say just like relating to real estate, like how can video be cool? Do you feel like there's a lot of stuff people aren't doing that could be like even better? Like, you know, I know we've done like neighborhood videos and things like that. Are you seeing like other aspects that could be done in real estate that people aren't doing at all in video?
There's a whole ton of things you can do in real estate. I mean, you got obviously the first thing we tell people to do is to have a brand overview and about us. It's kind of like a warm handshake and lets people know who the hell you are. And that's going to live on YouTube, and that's going to be the first introduction for someone looking for a broker or brokers to work with.
Right, and like
You
an
know-
intro to the brand. Yeah.
Intro to the brand, you know what I mean? Neighborhood tours. I mean, how much time did you used to spend driving around showing people 20 neighborhoods in Chicago? Nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, we're a big component of even something like that. And, you know, we reuse it over and over again by, you know, showing people, like, if we get a lead and somebody's like, hey, I want to buy in Lincoln Park, and, you know, we referred over to you, can you give us a little background? I mean, we send them, the About Us video, so now they have a little bit of an idea, and then we send them the Lincoln Park video, so now they have an overview of what the neighborhood's like.
Right.
So it's a great way to showcase both that stuff without me going on like a 20-minute conversation. Like, okay, hold on a second. What's your email address? I'm going to send this to you. Watch this video. The videos look badass, so people automatically now assume that we're really good at what we do. And I don't even have to have a conversation with converting them because now once they watch the video, they already want to work with us.
You're just getting to you're just moving the buying process forward a lot faster than somebody who's driving around spending gas money, getting tires kicked all day.
Well, in today's day and age, everybody's got that goldfish mentality. We're moving around in 2 seconds. So if you could give people that video to give them an idea of what it's about and where you're at, I think it's going to get people to be a little bit more excited with working with you as well. Right. How do you feel like people can improve on doing video? Like, do you think minus producing more content, is there other things that you see like people can improve on, or that you see like agents doing like really wrong in video?
I mean, you got to get creative with it. You know what I mean? We've worked in every aspect of real estate, whether it's with developers, property managers to lease up new developments. We've even worked with we worked with one of the biggest real estate transitions that's happening right now when CNA is moving from 333 Wabash and Northern Trust is moving there. We were a part of making that deal happen in terms of creating a property reposition video showing what it is now and what it could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
working that to the pitch that got Northern Trust to move in there. That's 770,000 square feet.
Wow.
Big deal.
And it got them excited.
He got them excited, and shout out to John Cordell at Newmark Grub Knight Frank. He gave us that opportunity to make that happen. But with investors, if you're pitching investors with VR, if something doesn't exist and you have 3D Revit renderings or whatever, being able to bring those to life to pitch deals to potential buyers or investors. We've just been super creative and we pretty much work with every developer brokerage in Chicago at this point in the game. Over the past 9 years, it'll be 9 years in business come next year. But for brokers, it's really about getting creative and really getting outside of your comfort zone.
Instead of like, do you feel like a lot of people come to you hoping that like you have some sort of script for them? And like you have the idea.
Well, we expect that for most people don't know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just the truth of the matter, and that's what we're here for. You know what I mean? We're experts.
Right.
We know what we do. We work with so many brands on the corporate side, on the branding side, so many brands on the real estate side. We just have more. We just have a vast knowledge of what works and what doesn't work.
So you could kind of like help point them in the right direction and things like that.
For sure, but at the same time, we got a guy like you at this point in the game who comes with an idea. It's like, hey, let's try this, let's do this, let's do that, and it's like, all right, cool, let's ride the wave, let's try it out and see if it works.
Do you educate people too, like on the idea of like it's not that great to be a once-off, a one-time thing. You do one video, it's not going to be like the end game. If you really want to get into this and dive into this, it's something that you're going to need to be consistent with, and maybe might be a little bit more expensive route, but over the long term, it's going to help build your brand and content.
Well, as a broker, and every broker is a business.
Right.
Self-employed,
Right.
you're basically running a business. I would look at video as a way to leverage time and leverage the energy of something that can work for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Yeah.
You can't pitch 100 people a day. A video can do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't show 100 people a day what your brand experience is like. You can't show 100 people a day what neighborhood tours are. You can leverage the power of video on YouTube, on Vimeo to get your SEO up, to do all these things for you. So they're basically like miniature employees.
It's like a gateway to your brand.
And it just amplifies who you are online.
And if somebody sends a video and somebody just has nothing, no content, in
Yeah.
today's day and age, I'm telling you what, somebody, even if I'm going to that restaurant or whatever,
Right.
I want somewhere where they got 1,000 photos.
Exactly.
Or a video.
At least.
I'm not going to say, well, okay,
So-
I'll go with this person. Or
So
that.
these people getting started, is there any like advice for somebody who's like, okay, it's their first video, they want to start it? Like, what's the best advice you could do? Would you say like an overview is the best way to start? What's the best way for somebody to start to break into video and get comfortable?
You're talking about a broker that just started at a brokerage.
Yeah, would you say like
doesn't
maybe,
have a team?
Yeah, maybe just like, are you saying get involved with like just they don't have much money? Would you recommend just doing like Instagram videos and Instagram
Sure.
TV and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Just starting small and then hopefully building a business and getting into like the production level.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about exposure, and you got to put yourself out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Get yourself out there. I don't care if you don't got a budget, you got an iPhone, do that. Put your call to action at the end of your video. Get iMovie, do the basic editing yourself. Do what you got to do until you get to that level to where you can hire a professional and leverage the time with that professional to produce professionally produced content.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you need to start expose You need to get your exposure out there with your iPhone or your whatever you're using and put that call to action. Go to www.suchandsuchandsuch.com or
Right.
call me to do this. Don't just go on there, shoot a video, and that's it. You got to drive people to the next step. You got to think about the navigation.
And you got to get comfortable with
You
it.
got to get comfortable being
Right.
on camera. You got to be comfortable talking on camera, because trust me, when the lights hit you and a mic's on you and all, it's a different world than just talking to somebody in person.
Some people get freezed up.
do you
And
help
it
people
makes
to-
you a better speaker.
to
Yeah.
get their content out at all? Like, do you kind of give them a direction as to what do I do with this video?
Yeah.
Do I just post this on my Facebook page and hope people like it? Or, you know,
Yeah.
is there sort of a path that you give people to, get their content exposed?
Yeah, we definitely can give people a basic framework in terms of distributing online, via Facebook, Instagram, YouTube page and that kind of stuff. But we got some things in the works on the
Yeah.
distribution marketing agency side that we're working on. That'll be coming to light soon.
More of like a digital assistance, like showing people like where to
Yeah.
distribute, maybe helping them out on like a marketing aspect and things of
Yeah.
that nature, because maybe a lot of people, like he says, doesn't know where to get it to. Like, what about other businesses? Do you see other businesses that are like really like doing well on video? Like, take real estate out of it. Like, is there
Yeah.
something else like a restaurant, or who do you think is doing video the best right now?
Everybody. I mean, we work in tech, hospitality, everything. You know what I mean? Kind of restaurants, real estate development. Everybody that's doing it well is doing it on an ongoing basis. You know what I mean? We
Right.
work with brands that have 6 and 7 figure budgets per year dedicated to this stuff. A lot of brands, Marriott brand has an in-house media company.
Yeah,
You know,
I've
a
been
lot-
seeing some of their stuff lately, more
Yeah.
on Instagram and stuff like that.
A lot of these bigger companies have their own in-house, media companies, because that's a good sign to show you that this stuff is not going anywhere.
Well, it's opened up
So-
a whole new job factor for people
Yeah.
to be like in social media and like more production companies. What if you had to name one brand then? Like, what's the one brand that you think's doing it the best? Like, doesn't matter what business it's in. Do you see one brand that you constantly see on social media or YouTube that you've been following? Like, man, this is some good content.
I kind of like what American Express is doing right now. I like what Condé Nast is doing.
And they're more like short videos, right?
Yeah, and there's different kinds of content. Sometimes I'll just take a static image and put some animated text over it, or it'll be experiential stuff where they'll have an influencer get involved. There's a lot of the brands we work with that are bringing in influencers. That's kind of been going on for the past 5 years, heavy.
Kind of like share with somebody else, so they hopefully
Yeah,
get more
bring their
exposure to different
audience.
brands.
High tide raises all ships. So they got somebody with a big audience. Hey, post this thing and grow our following or whatnot.
And this
So-
is like a big thing, almost like not a like for like, but hoping that like the people that those people kind of influence on their social media platforms will be exposed to a whole new audience. Because with TV commercials and stuff like that kind of being a dying
It's like
industry.
endorsements, like
Right.
Michael Jordan getting endorsed, but now you got
Yeah.
influencers getting endorsed. Kylie Jenner getting endorsed
Right.
to make it $500,000 to post something, anything, a
Right.
bottle of water.
Do you-
So yeah, that's huge.
Which social media platform do you think is kind of like the best for video?
Instagram.
Instagram right
Hands
now?
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What do you think about this whole
Outside
IGTV?
of YouTube,
Outside of
YouTube's the second largest search engine, so you can't. That's
So we're shutting down YouTube. We're not going to consider it.
that's a no-brainer.
Okay.
Outside of that, LinkedIn's too expensive. It's too expensive.
Okay.
Facebook's cool, but in terms of like engagement, Instagram's the best.
What do you think about this whole IGTV movement that's been kind of going on? Do you feel like it's Instagram trying to go after YouTube?
It's great. What's wrong with more content? It's forcing people to think out of the box, shoot vertical.
What
Big deal.
about Snapchat? What's your feelings on Snapchat? I keep trying to get into it personally, and I gotta be honest, I kind of prefer, ever since Instagram
Instagram.
kind of did their thing,
Yeah.
like I've kind of stopped using Snapchat.
I don't have time for all that. So I had a Snapchat situation when it first came out, but then I ain't got time for that.
So which
Personally.
social media platform would you say is the one that you personally use the most? Is it Instagram?
Instagram.
Do you post a lot of
Yeah.
stories on there?
Yeah, we do the stories thing. We got a bunch of IGTV stuff coming out. We just shot a ton of content, all vertical, just for that. And that's literally FAQs that's going to live on our Instagram profile. That people can ask about video. Why should I use video? Why should I use a professional? And it's just another way to leverage social media to promote yourself.
Right.
Why not? It's free.
Right, you're doing the same thing that you're
You know what
doing
I'm
for
saying?
people that you're creating their videos.
People used to spend how much money to advertise in Yellow Pages back in the day? Come on, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
a no-brainer. This stuff's free.
Right.
Like, it's free. It's free to pick up your phone and shoot a video.
Right.
It's free to post on Instagram. So you questioning whether you should do video or not, you're a clown. Like, why not?
Where do you think video is heading? Like, what do you think the next big trend is? Like, right now, like, people are kind of getting into, like, vlogging and some other stuff. And what's the next big thing?
Podcasts.
Yeah,
Podcast that we're doing, yes, maybe.
Podcast.
But,
I mean, AR is starting to pick up traction. VR is coming at some point, not anytime soon. But who knows, man? I don't know. I mean, at this point in the game, the amount of content we're creating for these brands and our clients right now,
right.
it's just going through the roof.
and things are changing. I feel like every day something new is coming out, and then it adapts, and it's
Yeah.
almost like kind of like a fad, and then it dies really quick, and then somebody's doing something else, and then everybody
And
you get the
that's thing.
copycats
You
out
can't
there.
chase that stuff. We keep it real consistent. And we just, again, we work with so many brands. We kind of know what works at this point, and it's all about consistency and just making sure and riding the wave and making sure that what you're doing is relevant and that you're exposing yourself to your audience at all times.
Got it. So what we do is what we call the Fast Five, which is where our co-host is going to ask you 5 quick questions for some answers. Matt, go ahead.
All right. So question 1, what is your inspiration?
Rap.
Rap. All right.
Who's your favorite rapper?
Right now, Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
All right. Why did you start to do what you do?
For thrills.
Okay. What is one thing that you personally could be better at, or your group?
I could be better at not procrastinating. Time management.
I also think he probably could have wore a brighter T-shirt. So if people who are just listening can't see him today, but I was hoping like a neon pink type shirt, but he's in an all black.
I got neon orange.
Yeah, he's got a neon watch on, but you could barely see the INDIRAP logo on the all black shirt. We were hoping for something a little brighter.
It's black on black.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
by the way, the city is mine right here. We got something coming out for brokers. It's basically, this is going to break down everything product wise in terms of how you can integrate video into your business.
Okay.
So stay on the lookout for the city is mine.
Okay.
Another plug. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Running multiple businesses in multiple areas of advertising
Cool.
and real estate.
And the last one, what makes you Chicago?
What makes me Chicago? Because I've been ripping and running through these streets for a long time. I got a lot of history here. It's the best city in the world. It's got the best skyline in the world. It's got the coolest people in the world. It's got the worst weather in the world. But I love it here. It's all me, and it made me who I am today.
It's awesome. So where can people find you at, Julian?
IndieRap.com, at IndieRapHD on Instagram. But just Google IndieRap. I mean, a lot's gonna pop up. Been doing this for a long time. We got a lot of happy clients, including the man in the blue suit. So,
And just for the people out there who maybe can't spell IndieRap, how can you spell IndieRap for them?
N as in Nancy, D as in dog, IRAP. Indie, because I'm from Indiana. Rap, because I'm in the rap.
Awesome. So make sure to tune into our next episode and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Thanks for listening to the Matt Laricy Project.